and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
As he dey pain them, he dey with us. As he dey with us, he go dey pay.
Kabure kele Simon Eba. Simon Eba joko no ya derege na mma. The spokesman. Odogwu wakari ji every nani Igbo. Omo Biafra ni no sigidi sike no ya.
So as he dey with us, he go dey pain them.
As I watching me on television now, he dey pain them.
Nwoke na-ebe ebe oya ndị Iraq, go and do your job while we focus on decimating Nigeria until 2023.
So, if somebody who is trading your life just to gain relevance in the media space, because everything he tells you is a lie, everything you see he tells you is a lie. Whenever he is able to convince 2 criminals or 3 criminals in Biafra land, he will come to the media and start shouting, making noise. He will come to the media, start shouting, making noise. Empty vessel. He will be making a lot of noise. And so many people will now believe, no, this guy is doing something. You don't know that noise he's making. You know, it is to trigger violence in Biafra land.
Because you can't stop us. You can gossip all you like. It's irrelevant to me. You can't stop us. Are you going to stop us? Who has gossip ever stopped before? If I want to leave here now to go to the kitchen, is gossip going to stop me from going to the kitchen? Some people give undue attention to idiots. I'm saying you are gossiping. Will it stop me from going to US after COVID-19 lockdown has been lifted? Some people, I don't know. That is how you people become liars. That is why when you present a very valid point to an animal in the zoo, they never debate that very point. That is why I call them baboons and monkeys. Black Africans are backwards intellectually. And unless they come here and confess their ignorance and stupidity, behold, they have no future, I tell you.
Want to die. You don't want to sacrifice anything. Your life of a slave in Kuwait is fine for you. Will they give you Kuwaiti passport? Will they give Kuwaiti passport to your children? Will they allow you to buy a house in Kuwait? Can your children be Kuwaiti prime minister? Then what on earth are you doing here then? That means you're a slave.
No, they're doing green art. You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we are making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important.
Southern Nigeria and the Delusion of 2023 Presidency by Peter Noah. Published January 7, 2023. Sometime in early 2021, news filtered out that Bola Ahmed Tinubu had assured the northern APC leaders that he would sell a Muslim/Muslim ticket to the southwest and they would buy it. Report has it that at the meeting where the commitment was made, they asked him how he was going to convince the southeast to vote for the same ticket. He was alleged to have responded that the southeast did not really matter in the calculation, that as long as he could convey Yoruba land and they, northerners, could get the northern support, they would cruise to victory, without the votes of the southeast. We later got to know that the original idea behind the Muslim/Muslim ticket was an attempt to frustrate his presidential ambition. Their thought was that he would object to a Muslim/Muslim pair and that they would insist it was the only option they had for him. How do you tell not only a Christian but a pastor in one of the biggest Christian denominations in the country that his presidential running mate would be a Muslim when he himself is a Muslim in a secular country like Nigeria? He knew the game plan, refused to allow it to deter him, and assured them he would run with it. The culmination of such several attempts to dissuade and frustrate him out of the race led to his now viral outburst at Abeokuta, Emilokan. As one group was scheming to get Tinubu off the race in APC, another group was stationed in the PDP to ensure one of their own emerges as the flag bearer of that party, in case the recalcitrance of this Emilokan denies them of that party's ticket. The emergence of Peter Obi in the Labour Party was an aftermath of his experience in the PDP. Though he has not disclosed what he encountered on his journey, Obi's body language, despite his taciturn nature, spoke volumes. Does Southern Nigeria really think that a northerner overseeing the election of Nigeria's presidency will award the winning to a southerner? Whoever thinks that has obviously not followed the history of leadership races. It is for this general naivety and ignorance that I keep encouraging anyone who cares to get copies of the following books and read Just Before Dawn by Professor Cole Ometoso and The Tale of June 12th by Professor Omo Omarui. Make no mistake, there would be ongoing nocturnal meetings between Atiku, El-Rufai, Gobashio's presidency, Ainisis Mahmoud, and possibly Lamido Sanusi. There would be ongoing scheming on how to retain power in the hands of the Fulani. How does Tinubu think an El-Rufai will support him over Atiku? Has he forgotten that Atiku is not only El-Rufai's brother, but his benefactor, who more or less made El-Rufai? Some of us are genuinely frustrated by the stupidity and gullibility of Southerners. When I see the sort of discussions going on some social media pages, I can't help but imagine how truly clueless most Southerners are about the true state of the Nigerian project. The Fulani does not want the power shift to the south. Here it again, the North will do anything to frustrate a power shift to the south. They do not care about any party. They want to see that it is transferred to another Fulani, not even to a Hausa or a Kanuri. It was for that reason Peter Obi was frustrated out of the PDP. It was for the same reason Tinubu was saddled with the baggage of a Muslim/Muslim ticket. The backlash was anticipated and they had calculated it would be a suicidal mission for him. The popularity and blossom of the Labour Party under Peter Obi was never in their calculation. What the North has succeeded in doing is dragging Yoruba and Igbo out into an election cycle, sidestepping the making of a new constitution that should have preceded any elections. They need the overwhelming participation of the Yoruba and the Igbos, the two other majority, by which they can then give a semblance of fair representation in the process. They would then be able to say to the international community, see, it was a widely and keenly contested election, may even get to a runoff. At the end, one person won, and that person happens to be a Fulani man. If that happens, now what? How can the Southern leadership live with the reality of a back-to-back Fulani rulership of Nigeria given the experience of the South and millions of the Fulani over the last 7+ years? Are we not thereby helping to promote a Fulani to complete what Buhari started, i.e., the domination and enslavement of the country by the Fulani? And to think that the chief promoters of a back-to-back country are mostly Southerners is mind-boggling. It is unconscionable, unbelievably shocking to see some Southerners actually drumming support for an Atiku Abubakar presidency. So, Dele Momodu, Rino Omokri, the Obasikis, Dino Melai, the Yoruba Okon from Kogi, and most disappointingly, Ifeanyi Okawa, a supposed frontliner of the Southern Governors Forum, would face their constituencies proud to inform them they are part of an agenda to use one Fulani to replace another Fulani. Unbelievable. What would these Southerners tell their future generations about their roles in the vanquish of the South? Political expediency. Do people not have shame? Do they not think of posterity and what history will write about them? Afonja and his betrayal, which gave birth to an Ilorin emirate over a century ago, is still in our political discourse and will continue to be. Is that how these people want to be remembered? I must appreciate Governor Wike and his G5 governors for their tenacity and daring to stand up for what is right. It is not even enough for the G5 governors to insist on AU's resignation. It should be an insistence that Atiku himself, being a Northerner, cannot stand for election to replace another Northerner. Not so them just see us finish. Can you imagine Atiku telling us that because Buhari is in APC, then it should not affect the chances of PDP producing another Northern president? What an infantile puerile argument. Is that how stupid these people think we have all become? So, is it telling us Obasanjo could have handed over to another Yoruba or Igbo person, or that Jonathan could have handed to another Southerner and it will be fine with the North? What shameless effrontery and daylight robbery is that? It amazes me how the South is so gullible to think the North will actually organize a free and fair election, then hand over power if the winner is from the South. Has that ever happened? When has a Northern president or head of state ever handed power to a Southern successor? The transition of power has always been from a Southern leader to a Northern leader, i.e., Obasanjo to Shagari, Obasanjo to Yar'Adua, and Jonathan to Buhari. The Sultan will not even allow it, not to talk of now that they have a dog in the fight and are the referee at the same time. For them, Kaka Kikumo JCC, Efa Shia Wada Danu and I, meaning, if I can't have it, nobody will have it, so let us scatter it. Do people even realize the resistance from the highest level of the Northern power bloc against handing over to Abiola? People just think it was IBB that was power drunk and wanted to cling to power. Forces much stronger than IBB were at play at that time, and those powers are still there. They have an uncanny fear of losing power. They also have a deep fear of Igbo-Yoruba coalescence, the reason the current rivalry between obedience and Batified is a game for them. They do not want any of these two tribes to lead Nigeria, neither do they want a coalition of the two. If all attempts to replace one Fulani with another through the ballot, they are ready to have their military boys roll out the tanks and take over with the barrels of the gun. The populace and the international community will call it a military takeover, but it is essentially an elongation of Fulani rule. Most Southerners do not understand the desperation of the people they are dealing with. They would kill anyone standing on their path to perpetuate their rulership. It has already started. Some seemingly inexplicable demises have explanations. Unfortunately, they have succeeded, yet again, in dividing the South along ethnic and religious lines. Lessons have been learned, but no. They are playing us against each other, and to reference fella, that is, their regular trademark. It would be a total disgrace to the entire South if they allow Fulani to get away with this deception. My fear is that we are once again heading to the path of Asekai and Awolowo in the First Republic. Those who don't learn from history are bound to repeat it. We were told one of the two refused to step down for the other, which enabled the Fulani to capitalize on their disunity. Each had a personal ambition to lead and none wanted to subordinate to the other. The Igbo and the Yoruba narrate it such that each vindicates his own tribe. Some of us were not old enough to know which version to believe, but at least we are witness to this current one. That is why we are writing about it now, so posterity will know exactly what happened. This should have been a time for the two tribes to unite against their adversary. It should be a time when they present a common and unified front. Our people say when two brothers fight to the death, it is the stranger that will empathy. Let the Igbo and the Yoruba kill themselves over a non-existent 2023 presidency. The Fulani is waiting in the wings to inherit your ancestral lands when you are all dead. The political leadership of the country, or the lack of it, poses an existential threat to them. They know what they have done, i.e., killings and destruction of lives and properties in various southern and middle belt communities. They fear repercussion. I tell you, as soon as Buhari leaves and a southerner takes over, there could be a backlash on all the criminals hibernating and committing atrocities east. Throughout Buhari's tenure, they have used the military to cover their flanks, the reason why T.Y. Danjuma said collude. Yoruba will say, Aponi ki feki ida koja loriam, which means that a killer does not want a sword to be swung around his head. They fear reprisal and are scared of the shadow of their past deeds. It is the reason one of their patrons, Gumi, can publicly advise them not to vote for a president who will prosecute them. They know what they have done, and that only one of their own, Atiku, will protect them after Buhari. One fact the Southern electorate knows but pretend play out is the interest of the electoral umpire. That time I checked, he is an Ewa man. Do Southerners believe in their hearts that this man will be an unbiased umpire in this tournament, given the huge prize at stakes? Why the South is busy bugaing, the North's main planning is how can we distract them, the South, and ensure power remains with the North. They are asking who among their traitorous leaders can that will speak against them in support of the North retain power. They have unleashed full terrorists into your farms to intimidate and create scarcity of food in your lands. At the official level, they have deployed the military into your states in the South as if there is a war already going on. Every military checkpoint you see in the North, you have roughly 8 within the same radius in the South. The ratio is worse in the Southeast, under the pretext of fighting IPOB members. It's all part of the game of psychological warfare and defeat. My postulation, they will declare Atiku the winner of the election, irrespective of what the real voting numbers are. They will anticipate an uproar. To assuage the South, they penciled down some names to appoint into key positions as soon as they declared Atiku winner. They will tell you to go to court and challenge the result. If your uproar spirals to a riotous tumult, they will deploy their military, kill a few and take some perceived frontline leaders of the protest into detention, reminiscent of June 12th. They will direct the CBN to release any required amount of money to buy out leaders of the major tribal groups. For the candidates i.e., Tinubu, Peter Obi, etc., they will tell them to name their price and promise to pay them any amount of money they want to assuage and compensate them. Did I hear you say, it can never happen? This is not 1993, wait for it. I will remind you. As it was in 2015 and 2019, a dog that will get lost does not hear the whistle of its owner. They call us guerrillas and political neophytes. Atiku is coming to finalize the Fulani agenda started by Buhari. Buhari spent the last 8 years restructuring the country to their preferred structure. He only needs Atiku to consolidate on that restructuring. Do people think he will hand over to a southerner who will deconstruct all that he has put in place for the benefit of his clan and their long-held belief that they own Nigeria? Atiku, I am told, is deadlier, more virulent, and will exercise a vice grip hold of the South. Just as Tinubu fed a lion that has almost now consumed him, those promoting Atiku now will be the first casualty. That is why he has never condemned Fulani atrocities. That was why he deleted that tweet about the murderous killing of Deborah by some terrorist in Sokoto. Southern Nigeria has suffered enough under the yoke of this marriage. When is enough really enough? If Chief Obasanjo, with all of his stubbornness and deep understanding of Nigeria's socio-political history, could not salvage it, believe me, no one can. Not Peter Obi and not Tinubu. From two countries that did not have anything in common were merged into a single entity. Nigeria has been a state held together at gunpoint since then. Over 100 years, and everyone can see that it has not worked. Anyone adamant about keeping it so, no doubt, reaps from the agony and frustration of the people of a failed state. They do not care about the well-being of the citizens or the development of the country. Chief Richard Akinjide, a one-time staunch supporter of the North, who went to the extent of betraying his kinsman, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, for the benefit of the North, before he died, said the North believes they can use the military to rule the country in a form of internal colonialism. He further said, and I quote, "These are people who do not make a distinction between public treasury and private treasury. Basic economics terms and investments are the engines for the growth of any economy. How can you ever hope to save and invest with such people?" As far back as 1962, Chief Obafemi Awolowo had referred to them as the autocratic ruling caste during his treason trial. Before any progress can be made in southern Nigeria, we have to go back to the two-state solution, northern Nigeria and southern Nigeria. Take it back to where it was before the British disingenuously merged them. Southern Nigeria delineation. We are running two countries as it were anyways. The Water Resource Bill is clear evidence. Those in southern Nigeria don't want it while those in northern Nigeria welcome it and in fact, anticipate it. The introduction of Sharia with its associated Hizbah police is another. The states in the Middle Belt will be given the choice to decide if they prefer a country of their own or vote for a choice between becoming part of southern Nigeria or part of northern Nigeria. Thank God for the discovery of oil wells and other minerals in the north. Southern Nigeria will decide after this first level of separation if they will continue as a unit or create new countries of Biafra, Oduduwa, and Niger Delta thereafter. The president of southern Nigeria extraction, even if it were to happen, with the current structure of the country, is window dressing. The sore will only fester. Like a friend of mine said, if perchance they give you the presidency now, the Fulani, like a hawk, will patiently wait for when they return to power to finish their project. Why to postpone the evil days? Some would say, why now when the presidential election is less than 2 months to take place? It is because we know the election is a distraction. It is a destination to nowhere, to a darker wilderness. It is being used to renew the life of a slavish constitution, the same reason our revered elder statesman, Chief Ayo Odebanjo, had said there should not be any elections before a new constitution. Pastor Chris Okoti also said just recently that there should be no election but that a transition government is put in place. Against all voices of wisdom, they are railroading us into an election because they need it as a vehicle to perpetuate their overlordship and finalize their evil agenda. Peter Omonua, an officer of the Canadian Armed Forces, lives in Ontario, Canada. Omonua@yahoo.com.
This podcast was brought to you by BG Media. Download the BG Media app today or visit barglobal.net for more podcasts.
There are two things plaguing them in the zoo: lies and deceit. If not for the coming of IPOB, of Radio Biafra, all of you would have lived and died in the ignorance that Ojukwu caused a war. That's what they were writing. Britain helped them to write it. Ojukwu was a rebel, a secessionist, because we had no media. That is why they're paying Facebook billions upon billions of US dollars to stop this truth from coming out. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Go on is alive and ask him. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Ojukwu went and negotiated restructuring with you. Aburi, you came back. Britain told you not to agree because Britain realized that all the component units of Britain knows that if you go back to regionalism, you have economic growth. The country will do very well. But Britain doesn't want it. That was why they instigated the Nzogbu called Nzogbu coup, saying they will bring Awolowo to become the head of state. They knew what was going to happen. They wanted to truncate the economic miracle of Dr. Michael. But what I'm telling you are fast. Go and investigate for yourself. In the East, you had the fastest growing economy in the whole world, over 40%. There are two things plaguing them in the zoo: lies and deceit. If not for the coming of IPOB, of Radio Biafra, all of you would have lived and died in the ignorance that Ojukwu caused the war. That's what they were writing. Britain helped them to write it. Ojukwu was a rebel, a secessionist, because we had no media. That is why they're paying Facebook billions upon billions of US dollars to stop this truth from coming out. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Go on is alive. Go and ask him. Did Ojukwu cause any war? Ojukwu went and negotiated restructuring with you. In Aburi, you came back. Britain told you not to agree because Britain realized that all the component units of Britain knows that if you go back to regionalism, you will have economic growth. The country will do very well. But Britain doesn't want it. That was why they even instigated the Nzogwu coup, so-called Nzogwu coup, saying they will bring Awolowo to become the head of state. They knew what was going to happen. They wanted to truncate the economic miracle of Dr. Michael. But what I'm telling you are fast. Go and investigate for yourself. In the East, you had the fastest growing economy in the whole world, over 40% every year. In the West, Awolowo was performing his own miracle as well. Even in the North, Ahmadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa were doing very well. You had all those massive industries in the North. You even had Alamanjis that were employed in the North, meaningfully employed, gainfully employed. They were all doing very well. Britain said, no, for us to control these people, we need to impoverish them. Let us introduce this war. There was a coup by Nzogwu. And after that, there was the massacre of, as usual, massacre of our people in the North. Ojukwu said, I have to secure my land and my people. They said, no, let's go to Aburi to discuss it. Ojukwu went to Aburi and agreed, restructuring. That's something now you're asking for. To tell you how foolish Nigerians are. They're very foolish. That same nonsense you're asking for now was discussed many years ago. Ojukwu sat down in Aburi with Gowon and decided that regionalism was the best way forward, restructuring, going back to who you were, 1963 Constitution, 1960-1963 Constitution. Be on your own, tax to the central government, as they have in America, as they have even in Britain. Britain, you have Scotland that is almost independent, Wales, the same thing, everybody is free, but Britain doesn't want the same thing they're enjoying to happen in Nigeria. Why? Ask yourself that question. Anybody telling you about one Nigeria is your enemy. I'll prove it to you now. Ojukwu negotiated devolution, regionalism. The North will be on their own, the West on their own, even Middle Belt on their, Midwest on their own, and then the East on their own. It's the same one Nigeria. On their way to the airport, before they boarded the aircraft, a call came from Lagos, from the British High Commissioner in Lagos to Gowon, telling Gowon not to agree, after having signed the agreement. That same Gowon you're looking at today, God kept me alive so that he can witness the destruction he will bring upon that very zoo called Nigeria. Gowon said, do you know all the jobs in Nigeria? None of them have ever gone to Gowon to ask him, why did he say no to Aburi? Aburi was restructuring. None of those agitating for restructuring right now has ever gone to Gowon or gone to Nigeria to say, but Ojukwu negotiated restructuring. What happened? They came back and they said, no. Ojukwu said, okay, so you want to continue to kill my people all over the place? No. Because of that, I'll declare Biafra. Today, they have brainwashed all of you with the perverse notion and thinking. You must go and listen to Simon Ekpa, who is doing a very fantastic job. Very great job that Simon Ekpa is doing. Very, very, absolutely fantastic job that he's doing. You must listen to him and share his videos accordingly. Very, very important. He is bringing a new dimension to this very awareness that we're making, and you must listen to him. Very, very important. And all of you will suffer if you don't repent. You will suffer. Mark my words somewhere, you will suffer if you don't repent from your evil ways. You take money from murderers and from killers to suppress the truth. Biden doesn't know what is happening in Nigeria because they rely on the ambassador to feed them accurate information. And that is not happening because they've been bribed. And that is why people are dying in Nigeria. Nigeria is the only place in turmoil, not making it onto the front pages of newspapers all over the world. Nobody talks about it because they are all compromised. They've been bribed. We don't need your one Nigeria to survive. They tried, can you imagine the nonsense? They brought in their food blockade. They said we will not send food to the south. They are perishable goods. So the items got spoiled in the north. The government now turned around to pay them almost 500 billion.
Hey, wow. I agree to the way they has my namesake in there.
Masugo, please write on face. Write on face. Let me answer somebody.
Okay. My namesake. Okwakam Dewo. We know they hear you.
I agree to.
Ah,
Yeah.
Dewo.
Yeah, one
How
day.
you did?
Now we did fine. Are we live now?
We
are
are
live,
live.
man.
We are live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we go. We go.
We'll go. Okay. Biafrans, I greet every one of you as you are joining us this evening. Thank you. God will also join you as you have devoted yourself to hear and stand by the truth. God will also stand with you. We move without wasting time. I am me. Now me be me. You know me now. You know me. I am the person that is standing for anything that is right. I know I don't care where it is coming from as long as it is the truth. I am standing by it. So this is me this evening greeting you 247. This is me also. And me also is just real. That's just a backup studio that I just opened. Don't mind that to go, Chris. Just because is the YouTube, they are not opening it up because I started using it for normal blogging. So now that I turned into Biafra, they are like blocking me. So that just real is still me. If you've not subscribed there, subscribe for me. Thank you. So I thank you all. Remember, we are crying and fighting, doing everything possible that our leader Mazena Ndekalo will be released unconditionally, just as the court said and decided and ruled. So anybody asking for any kind of surety or guarantee or this one is out of what we are asking for, is not as the court have ruled. We are standing with the court order. If you remember very well, when Mbazulike and others went to ask for pardon through the President Muhammadu Buhari, Buhari said that he is standing to wait for court to decide, that court should decide. And that Malami that is like a sick man today, like a pump to balloon, said also that the court will take its fate. And today court have decided. What are they waiting for? Why are they keeping him? Well, we know that every Eastern politicians, all the Eastern politicians, they have hand in his detain. But whether they like it or not, they must bring back Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has done nothing. And then I want you to remember that there are other Biafrans that has been kept isolated in solitary way. And they are being tortured day by night. But we don't know. Over 7,000, 8,000, up to 10,000 maybe. We should remember them. And remember, we have our spokesperson by the name Mazi Simon Ekpa. And we have Umada and the chairperson of Umada, Honorable Azokachas Wankwo. So this evening with me in the studio are my family, my comrades, maybe others go join us more. So, Mazi Sonny, thank you for this wonderful organization. Biafrans, I greet you all and I love you all. One love.
Thank you, Mazugo, for holding the house, and greetings to Biafrans all over the world. Greetings to Mazi Ubiko and others that will be joining us. Our loyalty remains to our indomitable leader, the Oamadike one of Biafra, the only man that has made himself available for God to use him at this very time. Wherever he is, we owe him our loyalty, and as a servant of the people, we thank him for being available for us. So today we have come again, and on your few minutes in introduction. So, Majo, please use the next 5 minutes to brush up something before we go in. Use 5 minutes. Use your time extensively. We are not many here.
Yeah. Thank you, my comrade. Thank you, 247. Thank you, Abarawa. Yeah, we must also thank Chuko Kikabiama, who is making it possible for us to continue doing what we are doing, seeking for what belongs to us. We will also thank Mazen Namdekano, who opened our eyes to know how to reclaim that which belongs to us. We also thank God for bringing Simon Eba, the dragon himself, in this very hour, the most needed hour. So we glorify the name of God. We thank God for everything he is doing. We thank the ESN. We also thank the Omada and the all lovers of freedom all over the world. We are 555 Vision. We have come to deliver this message to mankind for them to know the reason why we must be free. Because today we are fighting for survival. We are no more fighting only for freedom, but for survival, the right to live on this planet Earth. Thank you, my comrade.
Thank you, Mazi Owubiko. As I was saying before, I was taken out of the studio. My special thanks to the Dragon, the interim leader of this movement, who Mazi Nnamdi Kanu had anointed, who is standing in as the spokesperson of Biafra, and also to Umuada and their team, and the leader of Umuada in the person of Madam Azuka, our gallant men of ESN and every volunteer army that is fighting with everything that they have in their hands to make sure what is brought to book. And to every Biafran who is making sure that the name of Biafra is written in bold, who is carrying out every civil disobedience day by day, who is facing the brunt of one Nigeria, who is making sure that everything happens the way they should happen. Kudos to you all. We thank you for your sit at home and commitment, because without you, nobody will even believe and remember that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu still exists. Without you, Soludo will not come out to come and talk now. Without you, every other media organs will not come out to come and talk or remember Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You that is back home, you are the people that are making them to feel the heat. What we do is that we use the logistic pattern to multiply it while you make out the results to come. So we salute you all, and to Biafrans in the comment section and those that share everything that we do, please, we encourage you to share. Hit the like button so that you can bring in other people, because Facebook and YouTube have collected so much money, and Twitter, and they don't push out the notifications anymore. So we encourage you to invite other people in, share to your WhatsApp, Telegram, Instagram, Viber, whatever platform that you have, your Facebook. Do everything so that others can get in connected. We are here again to make you understand the reasons why you must not endorse the 2023 Jamboree. And before we start, let us remind you something first, because Onyendu did something for a reason, and we have to uphold that which he did. Let's remind Biafran something first. Before we go on, please.
And every one of you, this very special address this very day. Today's date is the 12th day of December in the year of our Most High Elohim, 2020. The time now approximately is 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra. This is a live presentation on a very special day that Chukwuka Biama has designed, that we must do all we can to save ourselves from extinction, from a people who are determined to come down, to take over the lives of the children of the Most High. A day that we have drawn a line in the sand from which we can never ever retreat. We are not going to surrender our land to Janjaweed. It is not going to happen, not now, not tomorrow, not ever. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, and as it is customary with us here, I will urge you to welcome other people as well, because the whole world is listening. On all our platforms, they are listening. And if you are doing so, it is very, very important that you pay particular attention to the announcements we have to make this evening. Very, very important that we do so. But as always, and before we go any further, we must hand over our proceedings to the Most High. But before I do so, I must always say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. This is a very special broadcast, and of course, we must pray. And prayer we must, this very evening and always going forward. And I will pray in the language of heaven, because Chukwuka Biama is in control of all that we have and will continue to do until Biafra is restored and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa onye na-efe na aja aha nsọ ya ma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị na ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngozi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ n'ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọ bụ naanị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezu oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe ikwere anya nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụ nke ndụ ma ndị na-agba mgbọ ebe niile dị iche iche onye m na Chineke nna n'ihe na-egwu nke niile etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta, onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na n'ụtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise, ise, ise. As I said, this very evening, we are going to announce our preparedness to defend the land of Biafra. And habited for very many years for the governors in our land, the entire East, by which I mean the Southeast and the South-South, to do what their counterparts in Yoruba land did, and even what the terrorist Miyetti Allah also managed to do, which they have failed to do up until this very day. We have decided to take it upon ourselves to defend the land of Biafra. We are determined and we are resolute, and we are not going to stop until we eradicate every trace of Fulani terrorism, every trace of hegemonic Janjaweedism in our midst. Until that happens, we are not going to waver, we are not going to retreat, not 1 inch, not 1 iota. We have come that we may do the bidding of the Most High for that which we were sent, or should I say born, in the first place. We are going to defend our land against the ravages of Fulani terrorism. We are going to defend the lives of our people against state-sponsored extrajudicial killings by the zoo and forces. We cannot allow what happened in Obi, Buatompo, in Aba, in Afaruku, in Emene happen anymore. It can no longer happen in our land. Today, we are sending a note of warning, or should I say caution, to all those that delight in shedding the blood of Biafrans and innocent people right across the length of this zoological republic called Nigeria. That from this day onwards, any attempt to kill innocent people will be kindly reciprocated. Any attempt by the zoo army or the police to kill innocent populations the same way they did in Obi will be met in equal measure. Therefore, it has fallen upon this very generation to defend our land against the excesses and ravages of Fulani terrorism and the hegemonic tendencies of the Sokoto Caliphate. For years, our mothers have not been able to go to the farms. Our daughters are being raped and cut into pieces. Everybody is aware of what transpired at Nimbo, at Ozo Wani, what is happening right now in Delta, what is also happening in Ebonyi State, and also in parts of Abia. We cannot allow it to continue. We have cowards and spineless, lily-livered idiots as governors. They have given over our land to the Janjaweed to occupy in perpetuity. This very generation, this very IPOB will not tolerate it. Not now, not tomorrow, not ever. We would rather all perish and die than to allow our land to be taken over by the Janjaweed. It cannot happen. This is a warning to all the governors who are conspiring due to one political consideration or the other to give our land to infidels and blood-sucking demons from the Sahel. It cannot happen. Not under our watch. It's not going to happen. Not now, not ever. Our invaders, we are being told, come from Senegambia. We are being told they come from Mali. Some are from Niger Republic. Some are from Chad, according to the governor of Kaduna State, El Rufai. Therefore, we are setting up the Eastern Security Network to combat the excesses of these vagabonds and criminals from across the along the same lines as Amotekun, and even the ones set up by the terrorists themselves, Mieti Yala. What we are launching today officially before the congregation of a global audience is the Eastern Security Network. Not a Biafran army, no. Anytime this army will march, we shall let the world know. But for now, and for our present purposes, we are there to defend the land of Biafra against these marauders from the Sahel, against a very determined incursion being led by terrorists, Fulani terrorists to be precise. What we are doing is no different from what Amotekun is seeking to achieve in Yoruba land. What we are doing is not far from what Mieti Yala, the terrorists themselves, are seeking to achieve in the northern part of the damnable zoological republic. Our response to the endless cycle of insecurity, lawlessness, mayhem, destruction of lives and properties in Biafra land is the launch of this very Eastern Security Network. This very day, in the coming days and weeks, you will see them in their uniforms. You will see them performing very critical and vital functions of ensuring the security of our land. I urge each and every one of you to give them your maximum cooperation.
Your maximum cooperation and support is what our leader recommends you give to ESN. The hour has come. We have been talking for too many months. MNP has been talking for too many years. So tomorrow is Eastern Security Network fundraising. You may ask yourself, how are you going to give your maximum support and cooperation to them? You will give your maximum support and cooperation by making sure that every information you gather is sent out to help them to curtail the menace. Because when you cooperate, it makes the work easy for them. Matthew, please, on this very note, I will want you to speak extensively on the ESN fundraising of tomorrow, because Onyendu has already given a clue of everything that people need to understand and know.
Thank you. They will. You see, today this afternoon or morning between 11:12 Biafran time today, afternoon, it was between 12 and 1:30. Today I streamed a program about terrorists, unmasking the terrorists. You come to realize from this program that these terrorists have offices. These terrorists in the north, Borno, the one we watched today is from Borno State. They have the community where they are in charge, and this community is not hidden. Even from Google Map, from Google satellite, CNN or CBS or whatever, we're able to see them. So they are there. You see how they conduct their judgment in the public. And when you are condemned for smoking cigarettes, you'll be executed. If you are condemned for drinking alcohol, you'll be executed. If you are condemned by wearing any kind of cloth that is not recommended by the so-called Sharia law, you'll be executed. And what amazed me is that these terrorists are using sophisticated ammunitions. And these terrorists, we are saying that they are ignorant, they don't know anything, they don't go to school, they are not educated. You will see in a room, they have their studio room, they have sophisticated iPad, Apple laptops they were using. Full the room, you see their cameras. That is why when they are doing anything, they are recording it and sending to CNN and sending to whosoever they please. If they are not educated, how manage? And you see the kind of drone they are using are this kind of drone that were displayed in Russia-Ukraine war. You see the time they went to attack one military barrack in Borno State, they were using armor tanks. They used armor tanks to break down the walls, break down the houses, and with these armor tanks, they went in and they destroyed and they killed every soldier. And we are here begging you just for feeding. Nobody wants to come out. We are here begging, support the ESN, our own ESN. Do you know that if not for ESN, by now, Fulanese wouldn't have been fighting. This no election, nobody would have been talking about it. It would have been forgotten long ago. All of us would have been like slaves. It will be good you go and watch, or if you will not watch my own, search the unmasking the terrorists in the YouTube. You will see the videos. We need to be free. We need to be free. And you will find out the same people Gumi are telling you that they are their warriors are the same people, the same Gumi that is, you have the pictures. I don't know if you want, I will show you the picture. Let me see if I can give you the picture. So you will show them the same Gumi that Peter Obi went for endorsement. I have the video there for you, son. If you can put it for them to see. This same Gumi was the person, if you can remove the hand, make it large, let them see. Dining with terrorists. celebrating with terrorists, visiting them on daily basis, collecting money and giving to them, bringing returns to Atiku. Who are you going to vote out of these people? Are you going to vote Atiku that Gumi gives, take returns to, message to? Gumi will go to visit the terrorists. At the end, he will go and gives his submission to Atiku. Or are you going to vote for Obi that has gone to get his endorsement from the same Gumi that is the head cornerstone of the terrorists? Or are you going to vote Jagaban that will kill you like Abiola planned to kill all of you before he was taken out? It's true that I never supported the injustice of taking away his mandate. But Abiola sank, I don't know if it is more than 1 billion Bibles in the Red Sea, in the Atlantic Ocean. Abiola is a chronic Muslim. We may say maybe it's God that is doing it. And that God is giving you the grace to be free from whatever it is today. When we call for fundraising, we are not calling for fundraising because we want to have fun. We are not calling for fundraising because we don't have any better thing to do. We are not calling for fundraising to sit down on the set for 5 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, sometimes 12 hours, begging you to come and give us money to sponsor the ESN that has been keeping our land. I want us to just think back and go back. The videos are all over. Sheikh, what was happening before Mazen Nnamdi Kanu formed this ESN? Then you will ask yourself, if the ESN has not been there till now, what would have happened to you? The ESN are there, they are killing us. Then think, the ESN are there, they kill us, they rape us, they eat our cassavas, they eat our farm products before our own very eyes. If you talk, they go kill you, so join the farm product, give their cows and cattle, make they eat. We don't have to be begging people, because those of you Biafrans that have this money and refuse to bring it, if we fail to restore Biafra, Funani will take over. Thank you, Sonny.
Thank you, Mazi Ugo. Mazi Obiko, you have the mic, please. Speak extensively on the need for support to ESN, because MNK said you must give them your maximum support and you must do everything to cooperate for them to be able to function in a very rapid and useful way. You have the mic, Mazi Obiko.
Yes, thank you. Hello, Biafrans. Every one of us knows the importance of ESN. But it happens that we have to wake up the soul of the people for them to come and join this struggle. You know that without ESN, our people will not be going to farm. Without the ESN, the cows will be circulated everywhere. The original plan of the Fulanis was to circulate their cows everywhere. But as ESN came, our people begin to go to farm. At least those cows, you cannot see them rampant anymore the way they are now. The original plan of the Fulanis has been distracted by the ESN. It is good for us all to understand the hard work of the ESN. And this is priority belonging to every one of us to support ESN, because as you are supporting ESN, you are also supporting and protecting your own father's land, your own father's dog, your own father's compound. ESN are the people doing this thing. it is not too much for you to stand up and say you are donating. The one we are doing now, we have a lot of things to do, but we volunteer ourselves. We volunteer ourselves to serve the public. We are calling on you, Biafrans, remove the money, because if you don't defend your land, the money you are hiding today, the money you are keeping today will become valueless in your hand. You yourself knows when Fulanis block Western Union, they block Korea, how any which way money can come to you, because they are under economical jihad. The way they are passing their Ruga, ethnic cleansing, is the way they are passing economical jihad for life to be difficult to you. The only option for you is to go to farm. And they took Ruga with their cows, destroying all those things. Today, our people can go to work. I think it is better for you people, especially those people in Europe, those people in America, those people in Australia, everybody to join hands together and support ESN. The only defense you have. Anywhere you are in this life, if you don't have defense, you are nobody. If you put your life in danger without any defense, you are nobody. Your life is at risk. Even your body immunes has defense. This is the way you have to defend. The way you defend your life, that is the way you have to defend your own land. Because without it, you are gone. We are calling on you. Stand up and donate. You are not the one that will defend the land. I'm calling
you now. Pick your phone, please.
Your own is to support ESN. Leave the work for those people that will do it. Ndị Igbo said, that is where we are. And as we are here bringing this gospel to you, we want you all to participate in this fundraising and make your own father's land proud. Thank you so much, my comrade. You're welcome, Raf.
Thank you, comrade.
Thank you for your submission. Manzirab, what did you say?
I was calling you. I'm trying to connect. I'm trying to stream. I can't stream. I don't know the system you sent in. I was calling you since you're not picking your call. I'm even calling you now.
I think
Raf, because you did not because you did not play up before the program starts. It was an event that was
no, it's not the issue. It's not the issue. There's something. The system is just different. That was why I was calling you off.
Yes,
camera.
I think go to the our WhatsApp and they join from there.
I joined from WhatsApp. It can't connect. Anyway, I can't connect. That's why I was calling you.
Okay, welcome to the studio, please.
Meanwhile, I'll be back. I'll be backstage. Backstage.
Okay, we move.
All right, we move. Yeah. Let's go to the video of the day. Sorry for the interruption, because we want people to understand something. Our topic says the oil and gas as priorities to the West cannot stop the Biafran movement. Now, let's listen to something. Because the West have come up with a series of madness recently.
We will not allow sub-Saharan Africa to escape that. Okay, we do everything to keep sub-Saharan Africa where it is, also impoverished. It's absolutely vital for the prosperity of everyone else. So let's get clear about that. Okay, and this means all the economic structures, all the global institutions, and the economics we teach everyone is all designed to keep Africa exactly where it is. And whether it is Europe or US or now China, it's always the same. We need Africa to be impoverished because we need those raw materials and we need them dirt cheap. Okay, so that's the message. It doesn't mean to say that there's nothing Africans can do. Of course there is. But this is the opposition that they're fighting. This is what it's about. Because if Africa does do something different, I assure you living standards of all those in Europe and North America and Asia is going to fall. Okay? And that is a big price to pay. I assure you that the West is not going to allow that without a big fight. Okay, so this is what it's fundamentally about. What I want to show you is how these structures are operating. It's just 20 minutes, so we can't do very much, but just to give you a little bit of an idea. And why I keep the ideology part there is because we are part of the producers of ideology. At universities and academic institutions, we are complicit in this whole enterprise. Okay, so the job of many Western academics is to convince Africans they have to keep doing what they're doing. Okay, and to show them it's your fault that you're poor. It's not our fault. It's your fault that you're poor. You know, so this is what we do in academic institutions, and I want to show that as well. We just start. This is what it's basically about, so you know what it's about. But I want to just show you the extent to which Africa is specializing in the production of raw materials and basic agricultural goods. We know the basic forces that have caused this underdevelopment. We know it's colonization. I will not discuss that very much because my colleague speaker is going to go into some aspects of this. But I do want to discuss the global economic structures, the global financial institutions, and economic ideology, briefly, to give you a flavor of those. Let me start with this. You can't really see it so easily, but if those of you who are interested, you want the PowerPoint, I'm sure we can make it available to you. But the thing that you really need to see is the top line. Okay? And the extent of dependency is captured by this statistic at the top. Okay? And you compare it with all other income groups, and what you see is essentially in that one statistic how dependent sub-Saharan Africa is on raw material production. Okay? This is the very heart of what makes sub-Saharan Africa beat. Okay? Here, just to have a look at one very important additional statistic, with all this export coming from sub-Saharan Africa, how much does sub-Saharan Africa account for in terms of global trade value? We know there are vast resources coming from there, but look at the bottom line in terms of global trade value. Look at that. 0.5%, 1975, 0.95%, going down to 0.1. To 0.1. Meaning that with all these vast resources being produced, how much are they getting for it? Nothing. Nothing. This is a very significant piece of data. Then I just want to show you what has happened to sub-Saharan Africa, because what we know, and from all studies, no country ever develops without manufacturing. Okay, producing raw materials will not take you anywhere. Producing basic agricultural goods will not take you anywhere. And let's have a look at how much manufacturing activity takes place in sub-Saharan Africa. We can look over the last 15 years, 15, 20 years. And we see manufacturing has actually declined as a percentage of the total. This is percentages of total production in sub-Saharan Africa, how much of it is accounted for by manufacturing? So this figure here is 17% of the total. Most of the rest, when we talk of industry, it includes manufacturing, but the bulk of it is mining. Okay? Raw material extraction. This is the bulk of it. And here we see actually raw material extraction has stayed the same. What has caused industry to fall is the fall in manufacturing production. This is deliberate because we will never, as Western economists, as Western policymakers, we cannot afford to allow Africa to industrialize and start producing manufactures. Okay, so we will do everything to stop that. And Africa, how much of it is accounted for by manufacturing? So this figure here is 17% of the total. Most of the rest, when we talk of industry, it includes manufacturing, but the bulk of it is mining. Okay? Raw material extraction. This is the bulk of it. And here we see actually raw material extraction has stayed the same. What is the industry to fall is the fall in manufacturing production. This is deliberate because we will never, as Western economists, as Western policymakers, we cannot afford to allow Africa to industrialize and start producing manufactures. Okay, so we will do everything to stop that. And I'm going to show you how we actually block that. And let's have a look at how much manufacturing activity takes place in sub-Saharan Africa. We can look over the last 15 odd years, 15, 20 years. And we see manufacturing has actually declined as a percentage of the total. This is percentages of total production in sub-Saharan Africa. How much of it is accounted for by manufacturing? So this figure here is 17% of the total. Most, when we talk of industry, it includes manufacturing, but the bulk of it is mining. Okay? Raw material extraction. This is the bulk of it. And here we see actually raw material extraction has stayed the same. What has caused industry to fall is the fall in manufacturing production. This is deliberate because we will never, as Western economists, as Western policymakers, we cannot afford to allow Africa to industrialize and start producing manufactures. Okay, so we will do everything to stop that. And I'm going to show you how we actually block that.
Mazugo, the floor is yours. You have listened to that video again.
Actually, anytime anytime I listen to that video, I feel like jumping inside there, getting the man, tearing him into pieces. You know, if you listen to him, I have this video and I have other ones that I don't even want to use because I am more, I feel too bad to listening to them. Now the man said one thing. He said, it's obvious they are scared that the world power will come back to Africa. You know, there are something that we don't know. There is something we generally we don't know. We don't know that the world power was Africa before they came and took it away. We don't know. They are scared that if Africa become wise, they will become poor, worse than you Africans. That is what they don't want. They are scared because they have gone through it before. They don't want to go. That is why they will keep us impoverished, according to him. No be secret. He no talk am for bad. He no talk am for secret. And shut down the point. That is why they are scared. That is why they are scared. That is why they will continue to make sure that you vote. That is why you will see now in a time like this, you see somebody like Clinton will come out and advise you, go and vote. George Bush will come out, go and vote. Pope will come out, advise you, even pray for Holy Ghost to guide you to vote to the right candidate. And then when you ask yourself, out of these criminals, I am going to run a program on Monday or Tuesday this coming week to show you the criminality in their lives. Wickedness, none of them is worth voting for. They go pray, your pastors, they will brainwash you. Big time pastors from all over the world will pray for you to vote and vote the right person. Who is the right person? I love that man of God that said, if you want to vote anybody, make sure you are ready for God to bless you with that person's character and bless your children with the destiny and the future and the generations with the same kind he has, that person have. And then nobody wants to accept that. Yet you want to vote them. How can you vote somebody you cannot trust into power? They want to keep you impoverished. Listen, they are scared of power shift. And I must tell you the truth, the power must shift, whether they like it or not. This time, if me and you agree that we are not backing down, we will not back down and we will get what we are looking for. The whole of African countries are in darkness. And as you heard Mazen Nanikalu said, that the only light that will come and they make them see, they will say, now we can see before we were blind, is Biafra. Biafra is like a light. When it comes, the whole world, not even Africa, the whole world will see. Biafra is the key. We will not back down. We are not going to back down. That is why we must support our ESN. They are our own warriors. We must be proud of what we have, irrespective of whatever. We go there proud of our own. If our own know they kill anybody, if our own know they rape anybody, and those will get terrorists where they rape person, kill person, cut him head off, rape your mama before your eyes, rape your papa before your eyes, rape your children to death before your eyes. And they are proud enough to tell you that they are their warriors. They are the northern warriors. Why wouldn't you be proud enough to stand and say ESN is your that the ESN are your warriors? If you listen to this man over and over and over, you will cry over and over and over. They want to keep Africa impoverished. I want you to ask yourself one simple question. One simple question. Wetin did they produce for Europe? Wetin be the mineral resources wey there for Europe? Which mineral resources are they bringing out from Europe? From America? From Asia? From UK? What are they producing like naturally? What are they bringing out from their land, from their soil? Nothing. The only thing they can bring out is your own oil from your land. They will bring it. It's just all of a sudden, things are unfolding. You are fighting for. I told us that you don't have Nigeria. You never had Nigeria. You will never have. You have known now the owner of Nigeria, Atiku Abbialiku Dangote. When one man, the only man that owns the only refinery working in your country, and you are still looking for the owner of the country, you shouldn't be surprised. You shouldn't be surprised. But my surprise is that it is now in Google. That is my only surprise. I was never surprised that Atiku Dangote is the owner of Nigeria. But for it to come out publicly in Google, that was what shockalized me. That one shockalized me. So when all these Efulefu, Obikus, Obidet, Obidios will be arguing, I wonder what you are arguing. In that Google, do you have it anywhere? It is written that your papa own Nigeria, or your papa own even your own community. Even your father's house is not in the Google, but it's not written in the Google. Even Google is too much now. Your own email is not there that you own your father, your own themselves. You belong to Aliku Dangote. You belong to him. You are his property. That is what the world knows, and they know that Nigeria is a zoo. All they want is to impoverish you by making sure you continue to vote. You vote the same people that will carry your money and build industries in their land. I was asking one question the other day. Obi, you are trying to vote, have companies, chains of companies abroad. How many companies do Obi, okay, companies, you know, Obi get pure water factory for in Papa house? Pure water, just pure water. He get them? No, he don't get them. You are voting for him to still use the same money and develop more other countries. More countries. More European countries, more America, more Asia. More Britain countries. More you go Britain, you will go and build more factories, industries in UK. More. That is all he's looking for. If somebody that had factories, companies abroad could not have one in his father's land, that means he don't like his fatherland. So you that is foolishly following him, when you finish school, you come and work for my head. Umokoko. Umokoko. Sonindego.
Tell them, Umokoko, tell them. Mazio Ubigo, are you there? Because they have been killing and massacring people. But the Western world says we are not their priority. But what is of priority to them is the oil and gas that they have. And they say election must hold. Election must hold. Why do they fixate their eyes on the election? Instead of fixating their eyes on the lives and security of the people that have been massacred for the past 12 years? Does it mean that the lives of the people in one Nigeria does not matter?
It's not important.
Let us just leave Biafra land now. Let us now focus in Southern Kaduna. The numbers of people in Southern Kaduna that are being massacred each day, if you should go and have a true number of it, you will even tell us that we should not be talking in Biafra land, because the number in Southern Kaduna is what you cannot talk about. And do you know why it has been curtailed in Biafra land? Because of the emergence of ESN. Now, in the north, which vigilante is fighting for the helpless people there? No one. That is why they are at the mercy of the terrorists, cutting them to pieces. Was it not today? Today in Nasarawa, children that just like daybreak, I carry my children, go kindergarten or carry them go nursery school or carry them go primary school. I leave them there. I give them keys on the cheek. Say, bye-bye, I'll come back and pick you later. Then suddenly, you see it on the news. that terrorists have invaded the school where your children were left in the morning, and that they have gone away with all of them. Then you look around and then you see the rest of the people are busy with electoral campaign, while the children that you left in school are in the dens of the terrorists, and you are dancing obedient. You're dancing Kwankoso, you're dancing Atiku, you're dancing Jack. You finish dancing and come. Terrorists will be staring you in the face. They'll be calling you from left, right, center. That is when you come to realize, oh, so that means what I was doing was just a mirage about one Nigeria. Because the real thing, the reality now, is the terrorists that have taken your children away. Mazio Wubiko, welcome back to the scene. Please, in line with the video that we listened before, and connecting it to the reasons why they don't want elections not to stop in Biafra land. The reason why the West, UK, UN, US, and all the international communities want election to hold in Biafra land. Connected with what that man had told us before, so that people will understand the reasons why. Because we had done an exposition on the UK declassified document of how UK aided the massacre of Biafra. I think it is time that we go back to that exposition again. Because now that all the international communities are coming out to say they want the same election, while all of us are dying, we need to bring it back again to refresh the minds of our Biafran people. So please, fire the shot and fire it the way you can, to any angle.
Yeah, Biafrans, I greet you. Yeah, you know, first of all, the best message that comes from Mazen Nandekano, he said that we should continue doing that we are doing, because the information is circulating all over the world. The second is Nigerian government all over has signed petition to kill or to repatriate Simon Eba to Nigeria for them to annihilate him. And this is bringing us back the reason why Obama said keeping Nigeria is a task everyone must pay. This man who said that Africa should remain poor, this has been their plan, the plan of the Westerners as they were crying. My brother 247 Ugo made mention about Pope. Me and you knows when Pope John Paul II died, he handed the staff to Cardinal Arenze for Cardinal Arenze to lead the Vatican in order for him to liberate Africa. They said no, that they cannot bow down to a black man because they know that that light must shine. That is how they handed the staff over to Ratzinger before Francis. And the same light is still shining, the same light is still going on. I hope I'm coming out clear, my comrades. So, this time, you will understand why they stopped the economy of Michael Obara. I am pushing you back now for you to understand the message which the man have dropped there. He said Africa will remain poor. Michael Obara economical system is the most fastest growing economy in the world, growing more than 40% annually. But they said they don't want Africa to resurrect. They don't want Africa to produce anything of their own. That time, Nigeria has been using almighty Naira. Naira has been in competition with the dollar. But let you not forget that Biafra is the last miracle on this planet Earth. That is why they don't want this miracle to happen. And we have come because Biafra is light that will shine all over the world. According to my brother Ugo, he said, because we are picking information from one another. Raw material, and according to the man who said that Africa should remain poor, he said, go and watch the kind of material they have, the kind of infrastructure they have, the kind of things they have. They will not make sure that Africa remains poor. Originally, African name, that continent in that place is called the Gong. The original name was not Africa. When you watch the map of Africa, it have the shape of gun because Africa is the planet, the continent that has not moved since first volcano eruption. Africa remains at one place, and the shape was gone. They say they don't want Africa is up because civilization, according to quote unquote, they find civilization in Egypt. That is how they keep on subduing Africa not to grow. But the original history still relies in Biafran land. Because the power that controls this earth is in Biafran land. They are afraid. They said they don't want Africa to rise up because one way and another, they have been able to capture the power. Now, we have solution. I want to deal more on the solution of this thing. That man who said, who played that video, he said, they are not saying that Africans cannot do anything. They know that they can do something, but they have to fight. Are you getting it? He said, quote unquote, he said, they have to fight before they can be free. Meaning, when you join it back, then you connect it with a brigade. When brigade is running under his own project, the population of this planet, he said they have to fight. Are you getting it? And under this depopulation, a lot of things has happened since 2019, COVID-19, and every other thing. But Chukwuka Abiyama is the person who is guiding the people, his own people, his own choosing people. Now, the COVID-19 did not take real effect the way they planned it. Now, they said they have to fight. Under this depopulation they are talking about, what we are asking you, who is still shouting Obi, who is still shouting, ask Obi, what agreement did he made with Britain when he departed from PDP? Which agreement did he sign in England before he came back the next morning and entered Labour Congress? Obi still keep this thing as a secret. But what Obi came and tell you is that Biafra died 52 years ago. Are you getting it? Is it the father of Obi that buried Biafra? Biafra has been more than 5,000 years. Is it the father of Obi that buried Biafra if he said that Biafra is dead 52 years ago? Biafra and Obi, which one is more older? The Obi ran and went to Britain. They told him, go and stop the activity of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Obi went there and they come back and begin to preach exactly all Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is preaching. That is why we stand here and tell you not everything that shines is gold. We know our problem. We have traveled almost all over this world as well. We know what is really going on. A Nigerian is the last human being, the most selected, the most useless human being existing on this world because you are using Nigerian passport. You are bearing the name Nigeria, a product found by Lugard, Frederick Lugard and the Flora Shaw. You are just a product, a company. And they said they don't want Africa to rise up. And which light is that light that will make Africa to rise up? That is what we are talking about. Biafra is the light. Biafra is the rising sun. And that is what we are talking about. They say they don't want Africa to rise. And me and you knows that Biafra is the light of Africa and of the whole world. That is why you see they will kill people. United Nations will not talk. That is why you see them, anybody that will serve inside the ECOWAS have to go under oath to serve inside the interest of the Westerners. Check all the people that went to Britain to study how to speak English. They went to Britain to study how to speak grammar, but all the grammar they learn to speak, they don't even know the meaning of them. of the language they are speaking, only that they will put is where it's supposed to be and put was where it's supposed to be. Grammatical lecturers, but with no knowledge. They ended up, when they went to England, they studied British English. Then they will come back and begin to work under Fulani that didn't even finish primary school. This man, what is his name? The president of the Nigerian Bank economic president. This one now they are suing. What is his name? Remind me, please.
CBN governor.
Can you tell me?
Now who overdo? No be
who overdo. Yeah, these people overdo. Listen, can you tell me economical and under educational quote? Is it Buhari supposed to work under Emefle or Emefle supposed to work under Buhari? Is there anybody in Nigeria as put together that is more educated more than Emefle? Are you getting it? So they structure the country that the educated ones have to work under the illiterates. Fulanis and the Hausas, they never go to school. They don't know they are left from their right. The same thing rotating that Easterners has to pass 200 and something pass mark, but in the North they have to get only 10, only 2 marks before they can walk. Yeah, the difference is very, very high. But after all your educational background, you come back and begin to work under the person you know you are 100% better off. Now, Nnamdi Kanu rise up, and then Nnamdi Kanu begin to tell us and begin to teach us things we should know. What this man have said here, that they will never let Africa to grow, is still going back. You will get it back again in things abroad. Go backward. Aburi Accord was to restructure the light. Aburi Accord was to restructure Nigeria. Aburi Accord was for us to have our own infrastructure. Aburi Accord is for us to use our own knowledge to make use of our raw material, which we find in our land, which Lord God Almighty gave to us. That is the Aburi Accord. Gowon agreed on the Aburi Accord. You see it, the plant grew up from the east, and they are removing the fruit from the west. Are you getting it? From the north? They bend the plant, they bend it, the fruit, everything that grew up from our own side, they bended it to the north. That is where they are harvesting everything we have. The same reason they are telling you they don't want that Africa grow up. They want to become poor and poor, keep on begging every now and then. Aburi Accord was to restructure the country, that me and you, we have a better life to live. Gowon agreed under the Aburi Accord in Ghana. As that Aburi Accord was going on, they called Gowon. Look, Ojukwu is very intelligent. Do not agree. They will enslave you. The same thing this man is crying. He said that if Africa rise up, they will enslave Europeans. Europeans they are the owner of iron. According to 247, he asked question, what does Europe produce? They produce iron. Iron is found in Europe. Iron you are using today is found in Europe. They can make use of their iron while we make use of our mineral resources. Let this life be the way it's supposed to be. But
we have iron also.
Okay,
we have iron.
We have iron. They have iron. They have their own mineral resources. They are well contented. They are under their own technology. Technology can lead Europe. But if Europe is talking about the climate change and the global warming, we are asking them today, how do you think that global warming and the climate change will hold when you know that Africa is empty? A global warming can never hold when you know that there is a leakage inside the ball. You have to let Africa go. But if you don't want it, our own choice is, they said here that the only thing we can do is to fight. Our own choice now is that since you people have declared war against innocent people, America send weapon to Fulanis under Buhari, and they are using Tokun jet. They gave it to Hope Uzodimma. Hope Uzodimma was using it to kill his own people. Now they said the only choice we have is to fight. There is no other thing, because Igbo adage says, if you want to kill me and I say no, you cannot kill me. Why do you want to kill me? I have right to defend myself. And again, one thing, whether Europe, United Nations, ECOWAS, UAE, and wherever they are, Igbo people are the first people that gave birth to democracy, which the whole world is enjoying today. And inside the democracy which Igbo people created, they came to Igbo land, they adopted the democracy, they came to their own land and established the democracy. But they don't want us to enjoy what we have created, just like mineral resources and the raw materials came from our own land. They don't want us to enjoy our own mineral resources. They also don't want us to enjoy democracy, which we created. We gave birth to democracy that is ruling all over the world. Our own choice is to make sure we defend ourselves. And for now, we say thank you that another person will come. Thank you, Biafrans.
Thank you, Mazi Owubiko. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Bamboo back alive. Or you never feel time finish. Unmute yourself, we know they hear you.
Just give me 1 minute and I try to connect the thing.
Okay. I don't think it will be possible for you to connect. It will not connect. Why? The reason is that it was event that was created since morning and the link was posted. So you needed to have.
No, Ego only share the screen. I think that's.
I don't share the screen. I don't share the screen now. So.
Okay. All right. So, Biafrans, thank you for being with us. We still have more because we are here to connect the dots to make you understand the reasons why UN, EU, US, UK, and all rubbish names there are coming out to tell you election must hold. Election must hold because they have interests of value. They have interests of value somewhere. Have you asked them, why is it that all these years that they have been killing you, slaughtering you in pieces, they did not come to your aid to come or to do anything? Have they sanctioned any of the government officials since 2012? Are they not still having all the Nigerian government in the UN, EU, NATO body, Soviet Union, and all whatnot? OAU, wherever they could be, they are all there and they are attending the meetings all the time, and they are not asking them what is happening in your country. No, they know what is happening, but because your lives are not important, your lives are not the priority that they are looking at. The priority is the oil and gas. That is why since January last year to this time, you did not hear them make noise. So UN did not make noise. UK did not make noise. OAU did not make noise. But when it got down to this time of election, they now came out and told you, oh, because of election, you must allow election to happen. If you don't allow election to happen, they started threatening the same sovereignty which they have in their own hands, telling them, oh, if you don't allow the election to hold, your people will not be given this. They will not give you asylum. They will not take you as refugee. They will not keep you here, keep you there. When you are already in asylum camp in your own country, what kind of external asylum do you need again? When you have IDP camps all over the north, if it is not the emergence of ESN, the same way that the IDP camps would have multiplied in Biafra, and then someone is threatening you with IDP camps. Our message is very clear that we are ready for them. Because the man that spoke before said, we are afraid. We are afraid that if Africa have their ways, that the Europeans, the Americans, the UK, and all the criminals will be coming to bow down to Africa. And Africa will be the one now to be feeding them. The same way that all of us are now running to Europe, America, UK, the reverse will now be the case. Because we have everything. So they now make Obi now, when you heard him say, we must make them to see themselves as the cause of their problems. You now see it, they now use Obi to come and fight against the freedom that you are going to do now, which you have been fighting for how many years. So Obi now will now be coming. As your own brother, you will now be clashing with Obi. Do you understand the point? This is a game plan. But Bible says, woe to you, through which the Son of Man will be delivered into the hands of the enemies. So obedience now, woe to obedience, who has decided to make himself the useless slave dog. I was talking with someone today that came in from UK. He said he just transited in Italy and said, if Nigeria were to work, obedience will be the person I want to be. I said, fine, you make a very good point. And the clause which you put in your statement said, if Nigeria were to work. When you're talking and then you come up with the word if, that means you're talking on probability. You understand that there is a pause somewhere. If. So when there is the if, you understand that there is danger somewhere. So why are you then pondering on obedience when you know that it cannot work? And this is someone that says, the killing in Nigeria is too much. And then he ultimately opens his mouth and says, the solution is to dissolve this country so that everybody's free. I say, thank God that you have been the one to finish the talk. I don't have to talk too much again now. Because if Nigeria were to be a place that values human life, me and you would have wanted to be president. Not be so. But because of the fact that it is not a place to be, he goes into that presidency, he will multiply our dead. You see now, if they are killing one person in your community, by Obi being there, all of you will be cajoling to believing that Obi is our brother and that as he is there, he's on the watch, he's going to control everything. Many of you will now go back to your houses and then drink palm wine, drink red wine, and then scatter your legs and then sleep. You'll be snoring for the next 3 days. You'll not even come back to the senses that you are in war. And that is how they will pack your dead bodies in bags the next morning. They'll just be going to go and bury you. Just like they are packing people in Southern Kaduna. They pack them with caterpillar. Caterpillar is what they use to pack human beings that were created by Chukwu Okike. When you look at them, you ask questions. Is this a country where they say they value human life? No, they don't value human lives. We are still on the West, though. We still have message to give to Obi and Soludo. Let us bring this one to the screen first.
You go and cook your horrible diseases like AIDS, you say it is us?
To this day, it remains the official policy of the American government. It has not changed.
The thing is that, as far as I'm concerned, since we met you people 500 years ago, look at us. We've given everything. You are still taking. It's true. I mean, where would the whole Western world be without Africa? Our cocoa, our timber, our gold, our diamonds, our platinum, our whatever. Everything you are is us. I am not saying it, it's a fact. And in return for all of this, What have we got? Nothing. Anti-personnel indoctrination against ourselves. If you go and cook your horrible diseases like AIDS, you say it is us. You brought us tuberculosis. We didn't have this big cough until white people came here. In exchange for Africa giving Europe 500 solid years of our people, I mean not Europe, the Western world, of our human beings to work your canes, to dig your gold, to taking gold itself, I mean, you know, fish, peanuts, palm oil, everything. In exchange for that, we have got nothing. Nothing. And you know it. Nothing. And you look upon, you know, white folks look upon us like monkeys. It is true. It's in your literature. Hey, you know, some of your best thinkers have said this about us. Have you heard of all these Germans? Have you heard?
Okay.
Yes. They said Lord Burton, people like that, they said we don't even have the brain of animals. That's what we've got from people.
But don't you think that this is over now?
Over where? Is it over? Who said that AIDS came from the green monkey? Is it over? Is it over?
Well, if this is your impression, do you think that
it is not over. Bam, 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 I want you here now. Are you set? Because it is not over.
Yeah.
Why just pause to bring you in? It's because of the madness which we saw some days ago. Because this, our Mwada here said, it is not over. And we agree with her because it is not over. Why is it not over? Because recently, we saw all the presidential aspirants in one Nigeria going to Chatham Colonial House to go and revalidate everything that this Adama just said here. So please connect the dots and explain why these people want election to hold on top of the dead bodies of people that are being massacred every day. And why they even had to go to the Chatham House in the first place. Please ask them the question, why didn't they come to their villages to assemble all of them and have town hall meeting with them, sit down with them and then discuss, ask them their problems and then give them strategies and solutions of how they are going to rule them and what they should do. People would have asked, imagine you going to UK, be asking questions and giving answers. Are you going to rule the UK people, please?
Thank you very much, my comrades. Thank you so much, Mazi Paul Onwubiko, my own elder brother, Mazi Ugo, Barawa Sonny, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And fellow Biafrans watching all over the world. These things are so glaring, you know, that is why we must wake up. I wonder if anybody is even still sleeping. Anybody that is still sleeping to these realities, then you don't even deserve to be alive. You know, this is a time for us to take our destiny into our hands, because you can now see it that these people, they don't care. If you like, let every one of you in that continent perish. It doesn't concern them. What they want is for their own pleasure. They just feel that we are a foreplay to them. Here in Italy, where I am, they know what Biafra is. So do you know that they are the ones that even encourage this history that was taken away from our schools? Because here in Italy and in Spain and in some other Western countries around here, when you talk about Biafra to them, you know, I go on evangelism these days, reaching out to them to tell them about Biafra. When you give some of them Biafra, they say, Biafra, what is Biafra? Is it a country? They say the only thing they know about Biafra is Africans that are impoverished, Africans that are hungry, that are, you know, malnourished. But the main history, the main story of Biafra, they don't know. This generation don't know, because that past generation that supported Nigeria never even wanted to open their eyes to know what they contributed, what they supported, the genocide they supported in the most advanced society, because Biafra is supposed to be the most advanced society in the whole world, the most advanced community. Because the level of intelligence they saw in Biafra land, Britain saw it. They said, no way, we'll never allow people to rise up. And they kept supporting Nigeria to see if they can eliminate us. Some of these histories are what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu found out, and he decided to Forolen Tutu. Foron Tutu Tashi lie. For me not to set my people free, I rather die in the process. Will you believe that British government, as they claim to be the free world, their own citizen, does it not beat your imagination that their own citizen with their passport that did not commit crime in Britain? So as far as Britain is concerned, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a very loyal citizen of Britain. Very loyal. Never committed any crime, never been to jail before, never done anything wrong in Britain, paid all his taxes. His wife and children are there. And they kidnapped him in Kenya, repatriated him up to tomorrow. Britain, they are not crying all over the place. They are even happy and they wish him dead. For you to see how wicked these people are. If you are waiting for them to come and give you help or assist you or help you, my dear, only one chance. So, a white man asked him, okay, you want freedom. What have you done? What have you done for yourself to get the attention of the world? That is why sometimes we see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu saying that it is time for these people to know how mad we are. If you don't get mad and get your own freedom, put your destiny into your hand and fight for it. If all of una life, make all of una die for all these white people, they don't care. This woman is telling them it is not enough. They don't even care. Because they know it is not enough. Look at Belgium. Belgium doesn't have anything. If they tell you the history of what Belgium did in Congo, Kinshasa, Congo, Brazzaville, if they tell you the evil, that small country called Belgium, if they tell you the evil they did, you will, if God is not so merciful, Belgium is not supposed to be existing. That if God can destroy Sodom and Gomorrah, I wonder why he allowed Belgium to still be existing as a country. The way they kill people, the way they cut people's hands. Just go on YouTube and see the videos of what they did. Or even find out the history of these so-called colonial masters, what they did in Africa, what they did in Nigeria, as they created it, and what they tried to do to us Biafrans, and we resisted them in Arochukwu and all those other places where able-bodied men stood and fought against them. Brethren, they don't care about you. So if you love yourself, you have to arise and fight for yourself. That is why this generation of Biafrans are the ones that are ready to make history. And this history, we are going to make it. Whether the devil like it or not, we don't care. Let them call us whatever they want to call us. Call us terrorists. Call us whatever they want to call us. We know who we are. We will not be, our lives will not be defined by the name you call us. God has made us who we are, and that is what we want to take back. The real originality of who we are, and nothing will stop us from doing that. Thank you, fellow Biafrans.
Thank you, Mazi. Please try to fix the sound from your streaming because sound is not coming out. Okay, I think when we speak, it comes out. It's only when you speak that does not come out. If you try to share the screen from YouTube, it will be able to come out well. But since you are sharing from the studio, you know you're using the same microphone to speak, and the same microphone. That's why when you speak, people will not hear you. But if any of us speaks in the studio, they will hear us. So try to fix it. Thank you for your submission, Mazi. Let us play this video before my comrades comment again.
That you can ever forgive us.
It's not a question of forgiveness. I have nothing against you. My point is that you did and you are doing for your survival what is necessary. We can't blame you for that. The fact that We didn't do enough for our own survival, and we are still not doing enough for our survival. That is not your problem. You know, even
Mazugo.
Hmm?
Adama said, we don't have any issue with them because they asked a question, do you have issue with us? He said, no, we don't have issue with you because you are doing it because you want to survive and you're using our own blood to survive and feed upon it. Please connect it to the oil and gas, which is where they are surviving from to this very day. And why they say election must hold, whether they are killing us or massacring or raping, they say election must hold because of their survival of oil and gas. Fire on Mazi.
Well, when you look at when you look for into waiting they do, who they play double voice, I beg.
Well, when you look at
Somebody is playing double voice.
That is Mazi Rap. Please mute yourself. Mazi Rap, mute yourself. It's coming from your end.
Okay. So when you look with the talk Chatham House, Chatham House, Chatham House, Chatham House. Maybe we'll start with that Chatham House. Why must our leaders go to get endorsed from Chatham House? Why? When you say you are free from them over 60 something years ago, I think it should be 62 years ago now. And if you want to do election, you go, they go draft how you go do the election. If you want to share a portion, if you want a portion, the money where you go borrow for China, they go tell you how you go do it. The lady say, of course, we are not angry with you. The only thing we want is to be free. You must not kill me and ask me not to cry. You will not be raping me continuously. You are raping me. You raped our ancestors. You raped our great ancestors. You kept raping from generation to generation to generation to generation to this present generation of which I am one. And I am crying and telling you, I am tired of being raped. I am tired of being the generation of your victims. You have victimized us enough, and you are telling me I have not seen anything. That is when I will get angry with you. We are not asking you, UN, we are not interested in your asylum or refugees. We are not interested. All we are interested is Biafra. And if you refuse to give us Biafra, your borders, your homes will be invaded by Nigerians. Because what is going to happen will not only happen in Biafra land, it will happen all over Nigeria. Because it will no longer be like during the time of Nigeria civil genocide against Biafra, that it only happened in Biafra. Now we have come to realize and learn that if Ojukwu was busy killing you in the north while you were killing our people in the south, you would have not had the guts to continue that war. But because Ojukwu was busy defending the Biafra land and you were killing them, this time, if you do me, so we are not angry with anybody. We are not interested in what you did yesterday. We are only interested in what you want to do tomorrow. We are not angry with anybody. All we are asking for is freedom. We are not asking you to restructure us. We are not asking anybody to come and restructure our land for us. No. We are tired of seeking for restructuring, which never came. If restructure would have come, listen, these people are so wicked. If they were not wicked, the oil they were stealing is there. They would have continued stealing the oil. Why were they against the restructuring from the Aburi Accord? The agreement was restructuring. It was not for Biafra to go. There was nothing like Biafra in that agreement. It was only restructuring. And Britain said no. But we are not angry. We are saying we are not even asking you for restructuring anymore. We want to be free. We want out. If in a secret society, we don't try. Somebody went in secret society for 62 years. He don't owe this side now. We want out. If in a marriage, 62 years of marriage, in pains, sorrow, victimizing us on daily basis, we are tired. We want
As you
out.
go, not talk again. This is why your face don't change. So, you know, on the vex now, follow them. Thank you very much.
Everybody that God has created has a sense of survival, you know, and until if we don't develop it, we can't blame white people. You came here because you needed these things. You took gunpowder from the Chinese. You needed them to shoot people.
Do you consider aid as a new form of colonization?
Of course.
Why?
That's why. You know, my people, the Akans, we have a proverb. It says that good morning, thank you is never enough to salt anybody's food forever. You cannot build your life on thank you, morning, thank you, English, thank you, God. You know, which is what aid makes, you know, we are always receiving. Nobody, look, and I don't care who hears, nobody anywhere in this world is going to send you their best of anything.
Thank you. Receive white envelope, receive brown envelope. Like when your leaders don't go to UK now, they see the answer, thank you. Everything that Adama is saying here, nothing is different from what is happening. That is why we just use her for this case study to nail the West today. Now, for how long do they think that when they go and kneel down for the West, that they can now come back to do best for them? When the oil that they take out from them, it is beneficial to them. Mind you, that oil where they carry go there. Okay, let me not go very deep. Now you will come analyze them. When they carry oil go refine, the oil where they refine, if they carry 10 barrels come out, when they go come back, no be 10 barrels they will carry come back. Now the place where they carry the oil go refine, I hope that place people will get job, Abi. Okay, that place where those people will get job, I hope the economy of those people go increase, Abi. Okay, the leftover or the waste product of that oil that has been refined, I hope they go use and take produce another thing. Mazi, please shut out the table so that people will understand the reasons why the West, UN, UK, US are coming to tell you, you should not stop election, that you should continue in jeopardy, you should continue in this contraption that they are killing you and raping you every day. That is why we say no elections in Biafra land. Mazi, you have the mic. Fire on, please.
Please, I can beg you for something. Return that video just a little. She said something there. Just a little. Yeah.
It says that good morning, thank you is never enough to salt anybody's food forever. You cannot build your life on thank you, morning, thank you, English, thank you, God. You know, which is what
Do you know why I say you should turn it a little? If you go, Biafrans, please pay your attention. Mazen Namdekan said, when you come with your pen and the paper. As we are here with our pen and the paper. That is what he taught us, and we've been practicing it. He also asked us to go back to school. Then we can be able to know our right and how to ask questions. Go and study the UNICEF, why they created UNICEF. Go and study Open Arms, why they created Open Arms. Go and study Red Cross and why they created Red Cross. Go and study Caritas. Then you will understand why they created Caritas. Thank you, good morning, thank you, good morning, thank you. Anytime they give you, you say thank you. But what they are giving to you is something that comes from your own land. They came inside your own house, inside your mama kitchen. They carry your mama soup. They carry your papa fufu. They carry and go outside. Children remain hungry. Then they begin to eat. The one that left, after they have eaten and they got belly food, then your children are dying out of hunger. Then your father and your mother will say, yo, you see, you are eating this food is my own. Now you see my children are dying. They will say, tell your mama and your papa, kneel down here and demonstrate to us that you will forgive us, just like what they ask here. Now they will kneel down, then they will ask the children, oh yeah, come and take one small apple. They will soak it in the soup. They will give them, they will say, hey, mama, I've eaten enough. Thank you for today. The mother will then end up and say, thank you, white man. Thank you, Europeans. Thank you, Red Cross. Thank you, Open Arms. What is Open Arms? And when was Open Arms created? And why is Open Arms created? They came to our land. They say you can never allow Africa to have peace. They should fight. They should kill themselves. The other view, which if we have time, we bring it out. They say the only thing they can do is to give them more arms. The war is going on. They are saying now that if Nigeria did not conduct a good election, they will give them asylum. What is asylum? You give them gun and bullets to fight themselves. People will run through Sahara Desert, cross Morocco, past Mediterranean Sea, past Libya. We are in Libya today. There is automatic slave trade. Then they will pass the other Mediterranean Sea to cross Spain. They do Open Arms. Open Arms, some ship will come. They rescue the people they want to rescue. Others, they will let them inside the sea. Their body and the flesh will become a fresh food for fishes of the sea and the fishes in the ocean and the white beasts inside the ocean. Then Open Arms will then come and they open their arms and say, welcome, welcome, welcome. Those people that refuse to die for politics. Then you will say, thank you, thank you. Now play me that thank you again. Then people will begin to understand what we are talking about. I will put a little light again. That thank you. How long do you stay in thank you? How long? Tell people that thank you. Let us tell them exactly what that thank you is again, please. Because the arms that hold this thing.
As a matter, thank you again.
Thank you again. Let our people want to say this thank you. People, especially our people who
it
is
says
watching.
that good morning, thank you is never enough to salt anybody's food forever. You cannot build your life on thank you, morning, thank you, English, thank you, God. Which is what aid makes, we are always receiving. Nobody, look, And I don't care who hears. Nobody in the world is going to.
You see, later, Bob Marley said, "Blessed is Lucky Dube, blessed is the hand that giveth, than they have taken." Is it? Thank you, thank you. Who are you telling thank you? The one you have taken as your God. Thank you, thank you. You tell universe, thank you, thank you, thank you. They have now you run away from the land, the promised land. You cross the Mediterranean Sea. They open arms and give you a jacket. They put you inside the Caritas. Red Cross will bring food and give to you. Giving you all these things. These are five. These are how many are them? 1, 2, 3, 4. UNICEF, open arm, Red Cross, Caritas. They will open arms. Caritas will bring food for you. You say thank you. How long are you saying thank you? You have your hand, you have your leg, you have your brain. That is what this woman is telling you. And this is when the war finished, when I said this thing to them. And let me try to go back again. They said, can you people ever forgive us? Woman answered there, these are dying. He answered there, she answered there, it is not about forgiveness. This is not about forgiveness. It is all about freedom. Let us give us our land. Permit us under the democracy we created. Permit us, let that we can have something they call legitimate referendum. That is what we are talking about. Referendum in order for us to go back to our ports, where we come from. If we want to sleep on top of the tree, let us sleep on top of the tree. Let that name where we are sleeping become Biafra. It is not about forgiveness. You people have tried. You have harbored us here in Europe. Allow us to go back to Biafran land because you have tried. We have stayed over welcome, not even to talk about bringing more immigrants here and giving them asylum. Nobody is interested of coming to asylum again. This is not about forgiveness. Biafrans have forgiven you. Our leader Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, if the oil and gas is you people need, make it open, sign the life contract that you will take it for free, but let us become Biafra. Mazen Simon Ekpa said, Biafra is a place where we have to depend on power. We are dependent on oil and gas. You people can sign contract and take this oil and gas. Let us be, because we have right to live. The right to live is what we are talking about. But it's not about forgiving you or not forgiving you. You have beaten us enough that we have to ask for right to survive in order for us to go back to where we come from in peace. That the Fulanis will not take ammunition, and the American, Europeans, and Western world will not be pumping ammunition in the hands of Fulani come and kill us. You said, I am hearing that Daniel Alves is inside jail or something like that. He raped a woman, but that place now, you see, they will rape women by force. Nobody is bringing them to justice. They will impregnate them. After that, they will tear their body in pieces, and nobody is asking. As if automatically, the same way they have said, the life of those people in West Africa has no priority. Are you getting it? We are tired of saying thank you, thank you, thank you. The thank you we want to tell you last is to give us a referendum that we go back to Biafran land, where we come from. We have independent and live like a people. We have right to live as people. It is not all about forgiveness. It is not all about, this is not, the woman has answered this thing a long time ago. Nnamdi Kanu said this thing a long time ago. Simon Ekpa said this thing again. Why must you people allow it? Why must you allow us to go and kill ourselves before you come? Why? It does not mean that if we stand with Nigeria, Nigeria can do anything. Nigeria cannot defeat. That is why they are calling military from Burundi to come to kill the Biafrans. United Nations know that the British Burundi military are inside the Biafran land. They have not declared war. If Nigerians want to bring international military
military to come. They have to go through ECOWAS and the sign that Burundi is sending military to Biafran land to go and kill them. It has not been announced official because they don't have what it takes to defeat Biafrans. So why are they still beating about the bush? They still running around the bush every now and then. Thank you. We are tired of saying thank you, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. Before you finish everything, thank you. No vex. Okay. Thank you, my comrades, because you guys are firing it the way I wanted it. And I believe Biafrans are getting the message. That video is long, and we're not going to finish it today. We'll pick some point because of time constraints. But let us connect another dot for you to understand something here. Now, the video you see on the screen is a reportage of CNN. This was 7 years ago, lamenting the upsurge of Boko Haram. We are going to play this one. It's not long. And we are going to play another one. So, for you to understand that international community understand everything that is happening in Nigeria since 12 years ago, the massacre, the pillage, the destruction of lives and properties, the kidnapping and everything. But what do? They turn blind eyes on everything. Only when they want to come and revalidate the slavery, the contraption of one Nigeria, when it is that time, hear them. And it is the question that you should ask yourself, why do politicians only come to speak to you when it is time of elections? We are also going to play Soludo's video here, and we will connect a point for you to ask yourself, why is Soludo asking for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu now, that is on the eve of the elections? Why didn't he ask for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu all this while that we have been shouting? You see? So on the eve of election, all of them want to run Jigba to come and, because they are doing it for the election, not for any other thing. When you listen to him, you hear him speak it out, that he's not doing it for him as himself, but he's doing it for the elections. Let's listen to this video.
Army today repelled an attack by Boko Haram in Borno, killing some 40 of those militants. That's according to witnesses. This is a very rare victory against the terrorists. It happened in the same area from which hundreds of schools were abducted last year. Remember, hashtag bring back our girls? They're still gone. Boko Haram's attacks in Nigeria are becoming more intense. They are ruthless. They are indiscriminate. And officials are concerned they're not so much about tactics anymore. They think Boko Haram kills because it can. Joining me is Ricardo René Leramont, professor and author. Professor Leramont, what is Boko Haram's endgame here? Because it seemed as though it was Sharia law, it was a rejection of Western values and Western education, but it seems as though this whole tactic has intensified in killing for killing.
Well, it's a situation analogous to what we find with ISIS in Iraq, in the sense that essentially northern Nigeria is being sectioned off from Nigeria itself. So whereas now there isn't an Iraq as we knew it, or we do not have a Nigeria as we knew it, they are essentially establishing their own sovereignty over the northeastern part of the country, and the government isn't doing very much about it.
The government's not doing very much about it at all, quite frankly. I mean, this able to repel or kill 40 militants today, a very rare victory. I mean, the president who is running for re-election didn't even mention the killing of 2,000 people in his country by Boko Haram just a week ago. In the last, will there be more of a response from the international community? Will there be more of a response from the Nigerian army?
Well, the question you have to ask yourself is, why has the president not addressed the question in the north? And it's really a situation that emerges from Nigeria's original transition to democracy. There's a logic to what he's doing. The civilian president does not want to empower the military because he fears that if he were to give them the resources that they were required, they would threaten the civilian government itself. So it's really quite logical why he's not supporting the government. And in this context, the army does not have the resources with which to confront Boko Haram. So it isn't a question of whether he doesn't want to do it. There is a logic behind why he is not supporting the military.
Yet the rest of us look at this and say, girls gone missing, sold into marriage, killed. Some, we're told, witnesses saying young girls as young as 10 being used as suicide bombers, boys being murdered. What is the West supposed to do? We have seen genocide in Africa before where the West didn't do enough about it and really regretted it later on. Should the international community be doing something?
We need to be witnesses for the right stances to be taken in Nigeria. However, what we have learned from the Iraqi and the Syrian experiences is that we cannot go in it alone. We first have to understand the logic of the civilian president, and then try to reorient his thinking so that he becomes the president of the entire country rather than a president that is entirely preoccupied with the center and the south of the country. Essentially, from my perspective, he has written off the North because he doesn't think it's necessary for him to govern there.
Can I ask you a quick question? Why do you think there has been such an international response and solidarity with France and terrorism in Paris, and this receives relatively less attention?
It gets comparatively less attention because Paris is Paris, and Paris is the center of media. Now, in the northeastern part of Nigeria, this is essentially a no-go zone. There are very few journalists who can go there. Consequently, it is not going to get the attention that Paris would get. But nonetheless, given how we were not present at the moment of the Rwanda conflagration, and we reacted belatedly in other crises in Africa, I think it is imperative upon the American electorate and also the American media, and I thank CNN for this, to keep attention on this issue because hundreds and indeed thousands of ordinary Nigerians are suffering.
Professor Ricardo René Laramont, thank you so much for your expertise.
Okay, there are many things to take home from this video. One, I don't know if you guys were attentive enough to pick your point of analysis. They said it happens in France and they give utmost attention. Why such attention is not given to the Nigerian pace? No, that is France. France is where they have meeting. And Nigeria is Nigeria. So there is no priority there. But there is priority in the oil and gas that comes out from this very place. Another thing is, the president of the country, the so-called Nigeria, was so swept into commenting on the upsurge in France, but he could not comment on the massacre that is going on in his own country. Another point is that the president is not ready to destroy the terrorists because he aligns with the terrorists and works with them. Masiraf, do bam in 2 minutes to this video before we bring in something else, please, because of time.
You know what actually should consider a little bit, because we are no longer, we don't care whatever Boko Haram does in their country. But what concerns me,
Hey, you're hanging, oh, your network is hanging, oh. The network is hanging, you need to go out and come in again. Mazirab, you need to go out and come in. The network don't hang you for one side. As you go, please grab the mic. In 2 minutes, please.
Well, like I said before, I go talk am again. Terrorists no be new thing. Now we dem make am look like say na new thing. Who be terrorists, by the way? Before they born people like my father, I hear the story of how they have been killing our people in the north. Using knife to, if they see you see, they are targeting men, no be women. Imagine to the point that when these wicked people, northern warriors, see a woman will get belly, they go use knife, tear him belly into two. Shake waiting there inside that belly, whether na male picking or been a women picking. If na male picking,
kick me
they
back
go still cut them into pieces. I go on, Raf.
I don't know what happened. Kick me out, kick me back in this network.
Now your network.
So please let us take note that they are Boko Haram journalism. All these Western journalists, you should report the government are the ones planning all these things, and you cannot see it for yourself. Prepare Boko Haram. They were not killing them, but now they are fighting and looking for how to kill and eliminate our security network that is actually
to send you their best of anything.
Me, I don't understand what is happening anymore. I don't even know whether I'm still coming out.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. No,
I'm
sorry.
not seeing myself. I just see another something on the screen. Okay. So, man, sorry that I rest my mic here. Let somebody else continue because the thing is just upside down. Thank you.
Matt, you go fire on. Matthew, go. You mute yourself also.
I can hear you.
Okay, fire on.
Okay, Rafu see the hang. You know if we do van today, to van spirit is come out. Where is they? We rebuke anything, we go hold that van power.
We release that power that is holding you. Must be free.
Anything we go do, van spirit come out and chap. Well, like I've been they tell us before, we must know, say, these people, the Westerners, they know, say, terrorists, they kill. And if you listen to that Simon's explanation yesterday, that people in the Zoom meeting said, is it that the Americans and the Britons don't even know? Or is it that they are making mistake, leaving vital informations in the hands of terrorists? Because at a time, he go boomerang. And when the thing boomerang, hey, I don't know as it go be. This terrorists we are talking about is there every day. If somebody, I don't know how to explain them again. In short, the terrorist is all the Funanis are terrorists. All the Northerners are terrorists because once Gumi have come out openly to tell the world that the terrorists are their warriors, and none of them, both presidential candidate to both non-presidential candidate to both minister, both non-minister, nobody has cautioned Gumi. Nobody, just pretend sake, say Gumi should not say this kind of thing. We disagree. Even if they agree, just pretend, say na lie. They did not. And you want me to be telling you, teaching you. Everybody need to know that these people are terrorists. Gumi is their grandfather, chief sponsor of terrorists. Gumi manipulating people. That is why you see him endorse Obi. So tomorrow, if Obi become president, but which he will never be, he will be sponsoring the terrorists because that is the agreement. All of them in power. You see the one where happened to MFN? Buhari is their grandfather. Sorry, they will.
Spider, this is something that has gotten a lot of attention on Twitter. A lot of people are saying, wait, where's the outrage of for what's going on in Nigeria? We saw 4 million people marching in the streets of Paris. We saw world leaders gathering there to sort of stand in solidarity with Paris. Where are those calls for the same kind of justice for the people of Nigeria? Help us understand the difference here and maybe why we're not hearing the same level of outrage. Or is there a reason?
Yeah, good morning, Michaela. Yeah, the issue is, you know, the stark difference, isn't it? World leaders, very prominent, linking arms, walking the Champs-Élysées, complete solidarity against this outrage against what happened in Paris, vis-a-vis what we see in Nigeria, which is truly not, it should not be surprising. Look, what's happening in Nigeria is barbarous. It's horrible. I mean, it's complete madness. Yet it's not a priority. The United States unilaterally could do almost anything it needs to do to root out Boko Haram. It would be a long-term effort, but it could be done. And the United States has the capability. All the elements of power, we have those.
So why not?
Complete, it's not a priority. That's the problem. We are committed elsewhere in the world. Black West Africa is not a priority. Very stark, hard to say, but that's the case right now. It's a regional issue.
Oh my God! This one chocolates me. This one chocolates me. Bam, bam, bam. I beg, try your microphone again. Use your thunderous voice to see why our lives are not priority, but our oil and gas is priority for them to come and take. And when election comes like this, they are doing like ants where one good chum enter hole where they don't prepare for them.
I bet me, Sonny, this man where they talk, who he be to America? Is it just a newscaster?
It wouldn't be just a newscaster. He must be one of the people speaking in the parliament. This video
yes,
is
he must be maybe a senator.
He must be someone from the Congress. This video is 7 years ago. Why we are connecting the dots for people to understand that one Nigeria has been doing this thing for long, and the international community are aware. UN are aware, US are aware, UK are aware, EU are aware, OAU are aware, NATO are aware, the Soviet Union are aware, UNICEF are aware, United Nations are aware, International Criminal Court, and they have done their own report and they have it. IPOB under Mazi Nnamdi Kanu have submitted numerous petitions with evidences to these people for them to see what is happening in Biafra land and in Nigeria at large. But they turn blind eyes, just like he said. It's not a priority because they are Black African race. They are not a priority. You see, but the oil and gas inside this place is priority. Fam, fam, fam. I beg, fam this man, fam this man, fam this man.
There is there's a video I just sent to you on WhatsApp now. You know, it's I saw that video today. It's a 30 seconds video there. I wish you can play it so that you will understand what priority, you know. If we like, let us as far as the Fulani is, because Fulani is in power, giving them access to the oil that belongs to Biafra, then whatever they like, let them do. It's not a priority. As far as there are a few of the caliphate leaders, and then the oil wells, it is not a priority. If the common men die, if they like, they know where Boko Haram is now. When one of the American is the American tourist, is it stronghold there that America went to rescue their own citizen? So it's not a priority for them. That is why we should do our own priority. We must make our, because if you are waiting for these white folks to make your issue their priority, they don't care about you. It's not their priority. They will focus on other things. That is why the exposition of Master Simon top notch, where you see them already warning you and telling you that if you are not fight war, if you fight war, there is no asylum for you, no refugee for you. Nobody. You see that? So this is a very issue that we must be ready to fight for ourselves, for himself, because your country, your land belongs to you. Biafra land belongs to you, to secure your own land. That is why if they like, let them call you. You don't have to bother yourself because they know that what that thing they are. So they're just calling a dog a bad name to be able to hang the dog, but never be able to hang us. Nobody can hang us. No. Thank you very much. It's like our dragon has come live. Thank you.
If we were to see Boko Haram appear in some other region of the world, white Africa, which is North Africa, or in the Mideast in some way, we would be alarmed. But it's a regional issue. It recruits regionally. There's a limitless supply of radicals in that part of the world that are willing to do these incredibly barbarous acts. But if we can contain it, if it can be contained, if it can self-contain, in other words, it doesn't have an ability to metastasize or expand elsewhere, frankly, sadly, we're okay with it.
But see, that's where the issue is, because this one town, or this one city of Baga, is right along the border with Chad. And Nick, I want to bring you back in. There is a real concern. President Goodluck Jonathan sent his sympathies to Paris, yet he said nary a word about what happened in that border town, where there was a slaughter of some reports saying 2,000 people. This is radical terrorism, seemingly unfettered.
Mazugo, please. They said good Lord Jonathan overlooked the massacre that happened in Nigeria and did not comment. And then he went to comment on the one of France. Is anything different from Peter Obi now that is canvassing for president and massacre is ongoing in his own village and he's not even commenting anything, and then he's going to Saduna to even go out?
Talking about these people is just wasting time. I have said it before. Anything Nigeria is the same thing. Sonny, you see you wait there here now, when me and you they laugh. If tomorrow morning I wake up, see say now you become president of Nigeria, you go become my enemy. I no go be friend with you again. So whether Jonathan know, one thing people don't know is that they think it's about personal changes. That is why they are thinking, or they think it's about personal problem or hatred. Listen, it's true that Obi killed Biafrans during his tenure as a governor. He buried their life even. But that is no reason why we are against him this time. We are against him this time because he is coming to distract Biafrans, which he has failed. We are against everybody, not against Obi. We are against Nigeria. So anyone Nigerianist is the person we are against. Anybody that is trying to build, to validate the fake foundation, the rotten foundation, the evil foundation, is the person we are against, not about any particular person. So when you are talking about Jonathan coming to Obi that has not even identified with you as an Igbo man, has not even said sorry to the people that died, has not even said, hey, condolence, I beg man, he ran to far north and the said condolence. This one run to France. What is the difference? Take a knife to kill goat to take goat to kill. Take a rope to pull for goat to take goat to pull for rope. take goat, pull for rope, take rope, pull for goat. Wetin be the difference inside? They are the same thing. I beg you,
Unfettered and metastasizing for that reason. We've heard that from the Archbishop of Jos here, an influential figure, saying exactly that. Look, here you have Boko Haram in Nigeria. They've just struck across the border in Cameroon. They've got the freedom of access into Chad, across to Niger to the north. This is a growing, more than regional threat reaching into North Africa. When did Boko Haram get more weapons? When Libya fell apart in 2011. I was in Niger, which borders the south of Libya, at that afterwards, when the weapons were flowing through, things as big helicopters dismantled on the backs of trucks being taken out of military bases in Libya, taken through Niger to Nigeria, right beneath it. Boko Haram got their hands on a massive haul of weapons. Boko Haram is growing at the moment, and right now Niger, Nigeria, Chad and Cameroon, but it's connected through Niger to Mali. Al-Qaeda is in Mali. It's connected through Niger to Libya, where it got the weapons from. But the weapons go south, the people, the ideology goes north. Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, they're getting stronger in the east of Libya. It's sort of almost endless across the north of Africa. So yes, that is a metastasizing threat here that will, over time, if not thwarted, at least underpin the Al-Qaeda threat and the ISIS threat that's growing in North Africa, which then threatens Europe just across the Mediterranean. Not just weapons, not just terrorism, but an outflow of migrants, which is destabilizing Europe at the moment.
Did they say it will threaten Europe? Okay, so it will threaten Europe. And yet they are sitting there and they're not doing anything about it. All right, come and kill us because we don't want the election to hold in Biafra land. We don't want the contraption to continue. So if the international community are fully aware of all these menaces for the past 12 years, because this video is not today, it's not yesterday, this video is 8 years ago. And they have been making the publicity, making the awareness, but yet they will overlook everything because they put it that your life is not a priority, but the oil and gas that comes from your land is a priority. So they only come and run to you and then start giving you series of notice when it is time to revalidate the contraption that has expired in 2014, and they want to make sure it continues. So the message is very clear. Because of time, we won't be permitted to pick calls now because we will have to run out here because we didn't enter in time and many of us were at work. So do bear with us because we might likely come back again tomorrow. We have some other issues to fire on. So just keep your fingers crossed. Knowing all this and the knowledge of the international community, being aware of everything, it is very clear for you to understand that they are doing it because they don't want you to be alive. And what the Biafran people are telling them is that we are ready for you. You know, in the 60s to 70s, they supplied all the weapons to Nigerian government. British headed everything, both the guerrilla warfare and the media warfare and everything that was done on ground, on air, and even on the sea. It was Britain that saved us and supplied them everything. When Russia pulled their hands out, America pulled their hands out, Britain said, no, it is their own interest that they must continue to do it. Today, Biafran people have come to the conclusion that you don't have to continue to do it again, because our Onyendu made us to understand before that this is coming because of what? Their interest for them to use us as the slaves. We are not ready to continue to be slaves anymore. The message to them is that they can bring every weapon that they have. That is why you need to support ESN and the fundraising that is coming up tomorrow. And in everything that we do, be at alert, because Biafrans are not going to back down. On this very note, we would love to bring this broadcast to an end, and we thank you all for being part and parcel of it all. Comrades in the house, you have 1 minute to give your closing remarks before we wrap it up here. Mas Hugo, the mic is to you, please.
Okay. I was thinking you are switching off. Anyway, Biafrans, we love you all. We are one family. This battle where we dey inside, the name na no retreat, no surrender. The name na who gree, make it gree, reach grassroots. Biafra is all we need. We don't need any compromisation. We no need anything. If it is not Biafra, it is not Biafra. Remember that advert where we dey hear when we small. If it is not Panadol, it no fit be Panadol. If it is not Biafra, it can never be like Biafra. Thank you. As we log out, we are coming back again to join Simon. God bless you all.
Mazio Wubiko, you have your time, please.
Yeah, Biafrans, thank you so much. Thank you so much. We call on you to build up your morale. Nothing like Biafra. Nothing like whatever you are doing again like Biafra. Biafra is the only solution to all our problems. You have seen it, they said that our life is not a priority. And for this reason, we have to let them know that our life matters as well. Again, what will help us to ride on this journey is to support ESN, support any way you can, and make sure you are online. We are not marching back. There's nothing like Nigeria in our life again. All we need now is Biafra. And Biafra is Biafra. Biafra and Biafra. Thank you, my comrades, as we return and join Simon for the broadcast of today. Thank you.
Thank you, fellow Biafranites. Pastor Van Van Van, I'm signing out from the joint broadcast tonight. May God bless you people, and I love the way my elder brother is smiling over there. Let us go and join the dragon and do the water game to the enemies. Gotta go.
All right. We see you on the other side. Wait for us to stay connected here, because as we just log out here, we'll
keep the
other one on.
And this one make it start afresh. Yeah, I beg.
No,
Sonny, cool down.
Are you still
finish? Huh?
Are we still live?
No, we're gonna end this one so that we restart with the normal.
We are live here. We are going to end this one and then start the other thing of the studio from the other one. So while we are setting up,
so let me sign out from here.
Sonny, please. You. I don't know. Okay.
As he dey pain them, he dey see with us. As he dey see with us, he go dey pay.
Kabure kele Simon eba. Simon eba joko no ya derege na mma. The spokesman. Odogwu wakari ji webiri na Igbo. Umu Biafra ni no sigidi sike no ya.
So as he dey see with us, he go dey pain them.
As I watching me on television now, he dey pain them.
Nwoke na-ebe ebe. Oya, ndị Iraq, go and do your job while we focus on decimating Nigeria until 2023.
So, if somebody who is trading your life just to gain relevance in the media space, because everything he tells you is a lie. Everything you see he tells you is a lie. Whenever he is able to convince 2 criminals or 3 criminals in Biafra land, he will come to the media and start shouting, making noise. He will come to the media, start shouting, making noise. Empty vessel. He will be making a lot of noise. And so many people will now believe, no, this guy is doing something. You don't know that noise he's making. You know, it is to trigger violence in Biafra land.
Because you can't stop us. You can gossip all you like, it's irrelevant to me. You can't stop us. Are you going to stop us? Who has gossip ever stopped before? If I want to leave here now to go to the kitchen, is gossip going to stop me from going to the kitchen? Some people give undue attention to idiots. I'm saying you are gossiping. Will it stop me from going to US after COVID-19 lockdown has been lifted? Some people, I don't know.
That is how you people become liars. That is why when you present a very valid point to an animal in the zoo, they never debate that very point. That is why I call them baboons and monkeys. Black Africans are backwards intellectually. And unless they come here and confess their ignorance and stupidity, behold, they have no future, I tell you.
You don't want to die. You don't want to sacrifice anything. Your life of a slave in Kuwait is fine for you. Will they give you Kuwaiti passport? Will they give Kuwaiti passport to your children? Will they allow you to buy a house in Kuwait? Can your children be Kuwaiti prime minister? Then what on earth are you doing here then? That means you're a slave.
No,